What's going on, guys? Greek Freak here, and in this video we're going to be talking about Damian Lillard and is he the best point guard in the NBA? Personally, I'm going to already start this off with saying no on that as far as this moment, but I do feel like the fact that he is definitely coming up close, he's definitely a top tier point guard for sure. And whenever we sit here and think about this, I want to consider what it would take for him to become the number one player as far as NBA point guard right now. Now, as far as I have it laid out as far as what I consider, what I would be looking for him to be the number one point guard, and that is for him to, of course, reach the Western Conference Finals, at least take the Warriors to 6 games, outperform Steph Curry, and not have one bad game in between these playoff runs. Now, as far as this to be considered, of course, this has to be within the exceptions. I don't expect him to lose in the second round. I don't expect anything like that. Anything that doesn't happen here would eliminate him from my choices of being the number one point guard this year. And of course, we have to look at stats whenever we're talking about the best player point guard in the NBA. And of course, he does put up good numbers as he was a first team All-NBA last year and could easily be that this year with 25.8 points per game, around 7 assists, about 4.5 rebounds, shooting 91% from the free throw, almost 40% from the 3-point, and 44.4% from the field. And whenever we look at his playoff stats, that's where, of course, it always steps up, and that's where I definitely think he could make arguments into this. Scoring 33 points per game, 5.5 assists, 2.5 steals per game, 4.5 rebounds, and shooting even still a great 38% from the 3-point line and 46% from the field. Now, whenever we look at something like that, we definitely have to consider the fact that right now, who is the best point guard right now, and definitely that is up to debate as far as for people to really consider things such as that. And the one thing I definitely want to put out here is, of course, his accomplishments that he's had in the postseason, of course, so far right now. Scoring 50 points in a playoff game, of course, only 36 players it's only happened 36 times with 24 different players. And whenever we think about that, only 2 of those players that have ever done it are not Hall of Famers, and of course one of them being an active player in Isaiah Thomas. But of course, with the way that his injury went, it's very highly unlikely considering. And of course, tying the NBA record for most buzzer beaters, game winners for this series. Now, of course, this being Michael Jordan with the 2 against the Cleveland Cavaliers. And whenever we really consider the fact that that is just one of the clutchest moments you can possibly have when we ever consider something. Of course, not giving the opponent another chance, not having another shot at it. And whenever we really consider it, of course, for the series is huge whenever it comes down to it. And whenever we do look at something like this, like I mentioned, I don't have him as the number one point guard in the NBA right now. Maybe some people do. But as far as the consideration for this, I think that currently I would have Stephen Curry as the number one point guard in the NBA. And really, I know the fact that many people may respond as far as already in this video being like, how could you sit here and say this? How could you do that? Or anything like that. But the main thing I definitely want to just put out there is the fact that I believe the fact that you have to have predetermined factors of what you would expect somebody to do in order to take that role or to take that title as the best point guard or the best player or anything in a certain realm. If you don't, you're basically going to keep it up to a bias to how you're going to look at the best player in the league or the best player or of a position. You have to me, have standards that somebody can actually break or set in order for you to be your mind to be changed in a situation like this. And right now, I definitely think the fact that, of course, something like if he beat the Warriors in the Western Conference Finals, make us to the finals, I think the fact that that would put him, in my eyes, as the best point guard in the NBA. So if he exceeds expectations to that standards, I think so. But as I mentioned, that's what I think it would take for him to be the best point guard in the NBA. But what do you guys think? Who do you think is the best player in the point guard in the NBA, and do you think the fact that he is right now? And if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure that you guys leave a like and subscribe to be part of the Greek Army today. And as always, this is Sparta.